Hi everyone, Brian here wishing you a wonderful Friday and a great last weekend of August ahead. This coming Sunday we're saying goodbye to Father Anthony Vaccaro, who's retiring from his practice in medicine and moving to Italy to live with his husband Giovanni. Like so many COSers who've spent time at COS and then moved on, Father Anthony has had a bigger than life impact on our corporate life together, and it's sort of bittersweet to be able to say goodbye to him. We know he and Giovanni are going to, for the first time in their married life, be able to live together, and that's great. But we will miss Anthony very much. This is true of every COSer, by the way, who moves out of town or finds themselves, for whatever reason, needing to take a vacation from active life or every Sunday life at Church of Our Savior. Right now, I feel that way a great deal because a lot of COSers who were regular attendants and full participants in the life of the church are still hesitant about returning or have discovered new patterns of life and ways to feel fulfilled in various ways as a result of the COVID isolation since March of 2020. And so people are just putting their toe in the water again about how to and if to participate in parish life. One of the glorious things that we're doing in our Monday reflections here is looking at the work of the soul inside each of our lives. And the way to detect this, of course, is to recognize that the voice of the soul is very quiet, very patient, very subtle, very loving for all of us, wanting us to understand life in a richer, fuller, and deeper way. The important thing for us to understand about that as Christians is that the voice of the soul is very much in line with the voice of God and the manner of Jesus Christ. Both God and Jesus are primarily, in fact, known to us through the humility and the humbleness of God's activity in our lives. Now, we have to hold this next to the fact that all of the things we say about God being almighty, all-powerful, the author and creator of the universe, the unimaginably omnipotent reality that exists outside of time and space, all of those things are true at exactly the same time. And yet, as our own scriptures say, this God chooses to be known to us through the humility of being human, through the gentle way in which the divine is actually known to our conscious, everyday minds, through the gentle voice of the soul. It's probably this gentle voice that Anthony listened to time after time to be able to discern that it was time for him to retire from medicine and move to Italy. It's what's going on for parishioners here at Church of Our Savior right now as they ponder whether or not and how they ought to be priests in the church, or for our facilities director, Will White, who's pondering what it would be to be a deacon in the church. Many people are pondering, how do I want to be with church again as I or my household reemerge from COVID-19? And all of us have to together listen to that gentle voice that comes from within. And that's really what church is about, ultimately. It's to help each and every one of us individually, and then us as individuals to participate in the larger society as people of peace, of goodwill, of joy, who are participating in life in our families, in our neighborhoods, in our community, even in our nation and globally, as people who know these things. And peace is not something you can foist on somebody. from outside. We can't force Russia to be at peace with Ukraine. We can't force Democrats to be at peace with Republicans right now from the outside. What we have to do is discover that peace, that gentle awareness from the inside, to know that it's there. And we do this through discernment. So among the many other things we'll celebrate this Sunday, as Anthony serves his last week with us as a priest and preacher, we'll also be celebrating the discernment that brought him to this place, and the fact that we all live lives of discernment, in which we can care for one another, forgive one another, hope for one another, and reunite with one another from the gentleness of the interior work that God is doing for all of us. So may God bless each and every one of you who hears this video. It would be great to welcome as many of you as we can this Sunday, and I hope those of you who aren't at church will be able to join Father Anthony on our live feeds. Blessings to you all.